But
Learning experiences all around.
exactly. But what I ask, the reason why I'm asking this is because I see a future for you, not just in your business, but in entertainment. So I'm like, do you have any ideas of what you want to do with your content or where you would like to end up with your content?
From a content perspective, I actually haven't thought that far. As far as I know where I'm going as far as the actual business itself.
Yeah.
The content itself, I was just gonna put it on YouTube at some point. Actually, I haven't really thought much further than that. As far as I've had people ask me like, or hey, you could do this, this, and this, and I'm like, yeah, I know that I'm like entertaining, but right now, if it's not in alignment with where I'm going, I'm not interested. But that's an interesting thought. I'm gonna have to sit. I'm gonna have to actually think of that. That's actually a good question. Like, what do I want to do with this content long term?
Yeah, because the reason why I ask is it goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
You every talent that you have, every color, every crayon in the crayon box
right.
ahead. And you're really good. You're really good. And my thing is this, even not me sitting here, I have a career. I've done things. I've gone places. I'm up for specific jobs to be on larger platforms. And I never left my house.
That's awesome.
I never left my house.
Right. That's
Literally,
awesome.
I never left my house. And I always wanted to work on the internet because I could reach a lot of people and didn't have to do a lot of footwork, groundwork.
Right.
So that was the idea anyway. And people are always like, "Oh, you can use this as leverage." And I say to them, "No, sweetheart, this isn't leverage. This is actually the career. This is what I do. LLC behind this. This is what I do.
Yeah,
This is my job."
for
But
sure.
the reason why I want to throw that out is because, the next thing you know, your content is so vision worthy and it's coming. It's coming. And when that comes, so do the celebrities and so do all of these people and so do all of this. Trust me, it happens the same way for all of us. So then you're being asked, "Oh, come here. Will you do a comedy segment here? Will you do this? Will you do that?" Like a lot of people have careers today because of what they did on social media, me included.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
I just wanted to put that into your brain because literally, just like you said, it's just something to think about. Like, if I get a call to do this, and what I love about you is you don't just leap. Like we had a conversation about the contract. So I know that you will. You're very, you
Yeah.
cross your T's and you dot your I's. And now that I know you're a military man, I'm like, oh, of course. Like you're gonna make sure all of it is together. So there's no one better to manage your career but you. You slip out of town and go do this and make money and do this or do that. And you that it's coming. Like you said, it's early for you,
Yeah.
but I just want to put it in your head because I don't want you to be surprised or blindsided when it does.
I probably right now, if it comes, so timing is going to be key.
Yeah,
Timing will be key because I am pretty committed probably right now for the next 5 to 7 years
good,
in building this business.
good.
And so, uh, yeah, the way that this is going to be built out, it's probably going to take me about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, like, we'll see what comes from there. But
yeah,
right now, I'm very aware that man, it's a crazy thing, man. When you first start, you say yes to a lot, and
yeah,
then you have to actually learn how to say no
yep,
and actually focus your attention,
yep.
because saying yes to anything other than the purpose or the direction is taking away from that. And so it's sometimes it's not the opportunity, it's just the timing. And so
You know what's so funny? And I love that you said that because take it from me. I said no to everything. I
yeah,
said no to everything because it was just exactly for that reason. They were trying to take my attention from what I was doing, and I knew what I needed to do, and I knew where I wanted to go.
trust yourself.
I said no. And I said no to everything. I had a very famous musician who's in jail now, but they had their people call me and they wanted me to go on tour. They wanted me to, open up and do all of these things. And I said no. And the person got very upset and said, "Well, why are you saying no?" And at that time, I think I was maybe 2 years into my business. And see, people don't know that. Been a Queen of Shade for 8 years, but I've been in business because I started with music for 10 years. This is my 10th anniversary.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So I said no. And I flat out said the reason. I said, listen, I'm not a lunchbox. I didn't build and prepare this entire meal for you to come along and slap your name on the outside and say you found it.
Dang.
They were so listen, they were so angry with me. There are people slammed the phone in my ear. They said I'd never make it. They said I'd never do anything. And like I said, I sit here with opulence and opportunity. And I have not left my house.
That's awesome.
I stayed true to what I wanted to do. And I told you I would talk about this. I'm sitting here today. This is my first piece of couture. This came from a couture designer in Madrid, Spain, who happens to be a friend of mine, whom I did an interview with. And this is my first piece of couture. This is organza. Like, this is a big deal. And I befriended him and never left my house. And the people said, this is a couture piece.
Crazy.
Miss Universe wore this.
That's cool.
You know?
That's cool.
Miss Universe wore this. And now I own it.
That's cool.
And literally, he said, I'm going to send this to you. And I haven't left my house. The reason why I'm saying this to you is because it ties in with what we were saying earlier. From your battle station, just manage everything. Just manage everything. As long as it aligns, manage everything, because you can. I was keeping them off my ass literally for years. I was one of those people. I'm not laying down. I'm not sleeping down. I'm not sucking nothing. I'm not nothing to get an opportunity. And I stuck to that. And you should have heard me when I first became the Queen of Shade. I used to go in. I used to go in.
Figured the name came from somewhere.
Yeah, like I was like, listen, I'm not one of these bitches in the street. Like, I'm not sucking dick for this. Okay. I'm not doing ass. I'm not doing none of that. So, and I held on to my guns and I got it in the end. Even the opportunities that I have there, it's so funny because I said to my grandmother, because my grandmother is like my number one supporter and we're together. We do this together. And I said to her, you know what's so crazy? I used to want to act. I used to want to sing. I used to want to model and all of those things. And I said, it's so crazy now because I'm being asked to do those things. And I'm being asked to do the number one the character and the only character I've ever created, the Queen of Shade.
That's cool.
When I am asked to do it, they don't want Bjorn Dufault. They want the Queen of Shade. And because you want what I've created,
it's cool.
And then we have to talk. My lawyer's out of Fresno, California.
Oh, cool.
You know, like my grandmother was very insistent on me doing it the right way. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is because I did a series, like I'm a mentor too. So I mentor young artists and entertainers and all of these things, you know, and I always tell them, you're making this brand online. It's becoming larger than life. It's big. You're going places. People are seeing you. And you didn't think to start an LLC to hide the proceeds? Like put the proceeds behind it, a company? And then not just that, like there's so much you can do. Like they're not even trademarking their names. And I'm like, here you are making this name famous. You're going viral with this name. Get it? I went viral. I didn't have a name at that time. I didn't have a name. I was calling it the Wrath of a Goddess. It's so crazy because my grandmother was actually sick in the hospital, having to have her gallbladder out. And one of my friends who I had mentored for a long time, he went viral and had astronomical success online. And he wanted to give back to me for always being in his corner and being his mentor. And he shared me